Hello there, toy collectors. My name is Kevin, aka Toying Around, and I am very excited to bring you this special review.
If anything, the Kim family, they're archetypes.
Which is sad, but not always a bad thing.
I'm okay, I have one. Do you see all the name?
Let's try them. Let's still try.
Good. Hello there, everyone. My name is Kevin, aka Toying Around. Welcome to the channel. This video, we are going to be talking about the season finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode number 6. This is a new-ish thing that I'm doing on the channel, just talking about shows that tie into a lot of the toys that we collect. Otherwise, I'd be doing toy reviews or doing Unboxing Thursdays live every week. So like I said, it's something new that I'm trying on here, and just really trying to get a gauge of whether it's something that people enjoy watching. If I'm doing it on the same day that the episodes come out, is it too early? Do you need more time to watch it? Let me know in the comments below when you're watching, or leave us a thumbs up, thumbs down. All of that is feedback for what we want to do when other shows come out. Maybe the Loki TV show, the Bad Batch for Star Wars when it comes out. And I've been doing this every week on Friday when a new episode comes out with my friends Troy Collects Toys and Jason Lapidus. Gentlemen, how are you doing tonight?
I'm feeling great. How are you guys?
I'm well. Jason?
I'm rocking some vaccine symptoms, bros. So,
there you go.
Yeah, I'm of that age where I got vaccinated. So
yeah, plus 45 or something.
It was plus 40, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I rounded up.
Did you get AstraZeneca?
Oh, I got it right in the AstraZeneca. Yes. Yes.
I get mine next Friday.
Good for you. Good luck. I hope it goes well. Yeah, but it's all right. So if you guys see me fade out a little bit, or if I get a little wiggy, that's all that's happened. Is I'm just dealing with some symptoms.
All right.
Yeah, my cousin she's got it yesterday, and she said she's like a whole slew of like symptoms and like, like she's going crazy. So
it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Shh. I don't even know which one I'm supposed to get.
As long as you get it, that's I guess the important thing, right? We want to be able to go to a toy jam again. So
exactly. I have so much toys to sell. As you can see, I need to get rid of them. But no, my postal code is like one of the most hot spots in Canada. So
hottest.
Yeah. So
well, hopefully you're able to stay safe, and that's all the important stuff.
I mean, I'm stuck in these walls with the the escape hatch behind the posters, but haven't really been doing much. So
yeah, man, I hear you. Are we? I see Kyle saying what's up to all of us, and I think it's very nice. I haven't in the past responded to questions or to comments. Like I haven't really been reading it and talking. When people say hi, I know Kyle already said he's going to bounce once we get into the episode stuff because hasn't seen it yet. So I just didn't want us to lose. I didn't want to lose the chance to say hello to someone who's not sitting around. If you guys want to talk toys for a minute first or whatever.
One thing I got to say about today, it's been such a weird day just because the episode came out and then suddenly, bam, we have a spoiler. Bam, we have a spoiler. And it's not spoilers for the show. It's about what's happening later. So it's like, oh, man. So it's like people can't digest this. I wish they would have saved this news. We'll talk about it after, but wish they saved this news until next week so people could have some digestion in their system with this episode.
I gotta say, I actually don't know what spoilers you guys are talking about. So you're gonna see as we get there at the end of the episode today, you're gonna spoil to me in real time. You'll watch my beard go white or something. Wow.
People love live reacts. Here we go.
Chat, let's not spoil it for Jason. Don't say anything.
Don't worry about it.
Don't say anything.
I can already extrapolate.
There's only a few people here. What's going on? People watching tonight. I see Terrence, Chamba's here. Kyle, like you said earlier, Kyle. Yeah, I talk to Kyle all the time. I'm going to send him something this weekend, so you don't need to say hi to him anymore. J Lit, J.E., this series is garbage. So many woke. Well, glad you tuned in to chime in with that. Yeah, we will talk about. Was there other toy news this week for the series, or that was it?
Oh yes.
There was the SHF. John Walker. Yeah.
Should we talk about that now?
You want to talk about it first?
Sure.
I mean,
I don't have it queued up yet. Hey, high school creations. What's going on?
We'll talk about it after then.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no. What else? Nothing else really came out. Honestly, I think everything is going to be like next week. Like when Monday hits, it's going to be like everything like is going to get confirmed because like we have that Monday live stream with Hasbro, and then we're on at 3:00. So everyone, we're on at 3:00. We're going to be talking about it. But yeah,
let people know before they leave. On Monday is going to be the Marvel Fan First. Is it Fan First Monday? They're calling it.
Yeah, I'm so used to Fan First Friday, so hearing Fan First Monday like threw me for a loop.
But they're starting at 11. Was it 11:30 this time or 12?
No, it's 12:30 or 12, I believe. They pushed it back.
They're starting a little bit later because I think it's tough for people on the West Coast because that's 11:30 is like 8:30 a.m. And then a lot of my friends out there are just like, what day is it? Why do I have to tune in now? So it's going to be a little bit later, and then we will do a recap live on here as well. A little session of Dope or Nope, which we have done a few times before, and I'm pretty excited to see what else is coming because last week they officially showed the photos for the Shang-Chi wave, the movie figures, even though those were already being sold in some stores in the US.
I know.
Crazy.
So crazy.
I put some feelers out there that I was looking for a set, and AIC podcast on Instagram, Adventures in Collecting Podcast, hit me up. He's like, you still need it, right? I'm like, yeah. He sent me a picture. He was at Walmart and he found 2 sets with the movie figures.
Whoa.
So I was like, yo, PayPal ready, let's go. I gave him my address, my US mailing address. He's really awesome. Eric over there gave me the tracking number right away. So it's gonna go get to New York, or get to from New York to my shipping address, then ship up to here, hopefully in time for next week, if not May the 6th. Should we get into the episode?
For sure.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. We left off last week with a nice little cliffhanger. I don't count the post-credit scene as the end of the episode, but the end of the episode ended with Sam opening up his briefcase. And I love all the memes that came out the week after of like all the things that were in the briefcase, like morphers from Power Rangers were in the case, all the different things that showed up. But you know that they had the situation going down with the GRC vote. The Flag Smashers had infiltrated in like a Hydra style where they were just everywhere. Oh, Kyle, yeah. Spoiler alert! Spoiler zone. We are in the danger zone right now. So there's a situation. He's got to get suited. He's got to get suited up, and they make their way over there. Bucky's making his way over there, and Sam's calling Bucky on the phone, and he's like, "I got backup. I called for backup." And at that point, did you guys have somebody in mind that you're like, oh, who's he gonna call?
I hadn't. So when I first saw this scene, I was like, oh, wait, is this another Black Widow character? I was like, is this Yelena? I was like, is Yelena doing this? And then when I saw who it was, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I mean, cool. But yeah, I was like, I don't know. I just felt that was kind of like, meh? Dare I say?
Yeah, no, you can say that for sure.
I was like,
for sure.
Yeah, hey, that's why you're here.
Honestly, I just was like my theory was if you could do this all along, why couldn't you do this before and get back to the country? Like, I don't know.
Well, we know the answer to that. But
yeah,
that was your
do.
reaction. That was your reaction at the time. I think the funniest thing with that character is your reaction might be the overall reaction of that character, which is like, oh, they're here to help, meh. Oh, they're here to hurt, meh. Oh, the character's going to be a good guy, meh. Character's going to be a bad guy, meh. I think the generally the fan base and the viewer is kind of sort of indifferent about that character, about Sharon Carter. She doesn't elicit a strong response out of any of us.
No,
one way or the other, for better or for worse.
Yeah, because she shows up with the face morphing
from Winter Soldier,
from Black Widow had.
Winter Soldier. Yeah,
I thought it was such a waste. It's like, hey, are you supposed to be here? It's me. It's really me. She feels like a mask, but then it's like, she could have left it on, but then it's like, and then like, what are you doing here? Oh, this is the last place that they're gonna expect to find me. Why even put on the mask? I don't know. It seemed kind of silly.
That's exactly what I thought.
So they go in. Sharon and Bucky go into the building, and then you see, you kind of hear Falcon flying in. Falcon, and then Carly's like, "Oh, he's here. Start the plan now." Then the security guys inside, they start gassing everyone, causing a panic, and a shield flies through one of the windows, and in comes Captain America. You see Sam in his TV Captain America costume or MCU costume for the first time. What did you guys think of the costume?
I thought it looked like a TV Captain America costume. It's exactly what you said. Sorry, Troy, you go, man. Hot take from Troy.
No, I don't have any hot take
down, Troy.
Like I really don't have any like the whole time I was looking at that costume, like the headpiece is like connected to like the shirt. So he kept on going like this. I don't know if you noticed. Like it just seemed like he was uncomfortable with it. And I was like, oh, this is the whole headpiece is attached to like the body.
And it was fairly faithful to this.
Super faithful.
100% accurate. I mean, I liked it. I thought it was really cool.
It was one of those things where I think from artwork to real life didn't really train. The whole thing that bothered me was the ears. Is that like a tactical thing where the ears had to stick out where everything else was wrapped? I don't know. I didn't really get it. It didn't look right. But the rest of it was
Chamba. I don't know Chamba, but Chamba is 100% right. Chamba says, watch the costume get a redesign next time we see it. 100% I agree with you. You are a brilliant person.
Mm-hmm. Because this wasn't officially US sanctioned. This was a was a Wakandan concept costume.
Yeah, it felt really Wakandan too, didn't it?
Did it?
Nope. I thought so.
If you're gonna say it's Wakandan, then I don't know, maybe he gets the nanotech.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's an element of it that like maybe his wings are vibranium that when they get hit, they do the like power absorbing, like something where it like made it worthwhile to make it Wakandan.
Yeah.
But it looked like Shuri did not give it her best effort.
Well, I mean, it seemed like it was they had a tight deadline, right?
Sure. Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah, Terrence knows. They had to make it real quick.
I thought that that I agree, like Chamba said, if you think about everything they've done with the MC, now we're like going outside of the show for a moment and looking at the studio, they have made improvements on everything they've done every time they can. So Andy Park and Ryan Meinerding have done amazing concept design for every character. They've tackled things that never should be able to work ever on screen, and they made everything work eventually. So, Captain America, his first outing, they tweak it for the next movie. They tweak it for the next movie. They tweak it again, and they finally kind of hit stride with something that lasts essentially, I would argue, for Age of Ultron. First time they do Age of Ultron, that suit doesn't change very much from then to the end. He loses his white sleeve, but his Age of Ultron suit turns into the Civil War suit, which turns into the Infinity War, and he gets the new one at the very end. At the end of Endgame for the final act. But they've improved everyone's suits the whole way, mostly.
For sure.
So I think the three of us, I'm sort of speaking on your behalf, I think we all trust those guys. They can do really good work. Mm-hmm. So they're going to look and see how the design turned out on screen, and they'll pivot.
Listen, one of the things I trust about Marvel Studios is their concept.
Totally.
Their concept to costume design. So they take a concept and they make a costume. They have won Academy Awards for this.
Yeah, those two dudes and the whole crew, they're really good.
Yeah, so like for me, I have faith in it. Like
me too.
Absolutely. One of the things I'd like about this and WandaVision is that the characters, the title characters, they all get a glow up at the end. That's what I felt. Wanda gets a huge glow up, and then Sam gets a huge glow up at the end. So like, I love these costumes. I love what it represents, and I love what Sam is doing with it. And honestly, I can't wait for more, which we'll talk about later.
I think they'll make a tweak. I think we'll see a change in his shoulder pads, the way they sit. They looked a little bit in 90s television superhero show, the way they moved on his body. And, obviously they've worked out the shoulder pad thing with all the versions of the Captain America suit, except for this one. The shoulder pads have worked. They haven't buckled in an uncomfortable looking way. They seem natural. They seem to like work with the flow of the suit. This time, I think the white buckling on the white just doesn't look right. I'm trying to think of what other character it reminded me of. But white, I don't think really works generally in superhero costumes. We'll see with the Widow how that looks. Maybe it works better on a different form. Yeah, I got props here. I got a prop right there.
I have no props.
So we'll see how it goes, but don't be surprised if they make a change to the head neck melding of those shapes into one another. And I think the white on the chest works really well. But the white neck to head and chest combined and shoulders, that kind of one piece, lumpy, I don't know. It did look like he was sort of in a foam suit.
It is like TV costume, but I think it's probably one of the best TV costumes.
Sure.
I just thought it felt uncomfortable the whole time. That's like every time I saw him, he just looked uncomfortable.
Think about the regular Cap costume, all the versions. It's a helmet, right? The helmet mask. It's not connected here. It comes down a little, but it's a helmet that sits, and then there's a space between his chin and his neck, and maybe they're going to work out something in that direction. Falcon, obviously, the Falcon costume has worked. The Captain America costume has worked. They're trying a couple new things between those two, but they're moving into an area that didn't work on either one of those two suits, which is the combined head neck thing. They'll figure it out. They'll probably separate them and go back to something a little more natural, where he has a headpiece that kind of is like the Falcon version. We'll see, but that's the joy of it. Is the next iteration will, we all agree it'll be an improved thing for sure. Anyway,
is this the
right?
I guess I could have pulled that up earlier while we were talking about
it. It's okay.
Yeah, just like look at it. See, like the neck piece, like it's just like it conforms to his face, but then it's also like down below. It's like it's so weird. I just wish like they kind of broken that up a little bit. Maybe just the white from here to here, just break that up a little bit.
And I wonder also with different body types, like where different actors are thick in different areas, what works, what doesn't work. We'll see how those shoulder pads look so boxy. We'll see what they do, but I really do trust those guys. They are amazing craftsmen, and they definitely know how to look at what's on screen, see what works, and then make an adjustment.
It was still great to see, and I guess
totally.
Did you feel like a little bit got taken away from it, having seen the toys, or like we already knew what the comic character looked like, so it wasn't like a huge spoiler.
It wasn't a huge spoiler for any of us, but often what happens is, in TV's movies, that we connect to characters' reactions to things on screen. True. So it's not about, when we know, let's say a certain character is going to die, but watching the character that we care about react to the death is what actually makes it powerful for us, or it makes it more powerful. So no one had a strong reaction to seeing Captain America until later. Maybe
the security guard who's like, "Who the hell are you?"
Yeah, there needed to be. I don't know. I'm just saying this doesn't work with the script or the story. I'm just saying, like the group of children who see the character and we're like,
"Yeah,
what? That's my dream come true." Like maybe we needed an avatar in the show to give us a cue as to how amazing this actually is. I don't know.
Right.
Also, maybe it works better in day than night.
It was a little bit lackluster, I think, because when he's like you said, when he was on the bridge, he saved those people later on. People on the bridge were like, they were cheering and they were really wowed. And then, later on, the old guy's like, "Hey, it's Black Falcon." And then they go back to that joke again. The other dude's like, "No, that's Captain America." And at that moment, I was like, yes, everyone's getting it. Like everyone's accepting it. But, like you said, that's much later on in the episode, almost near the end. and you don't really get that feeling in this moment when he shows up through the window. So yeah, that same joke comes. He's like, I thought Captain America was on the moon. They bring that joke back for whatever reason. Maybe
I was reading an article today that said that potentially, like, the show hasn't referenced Captain America being dead. They just say he's gone.
Right.
So I was reading an article saying, hey, is maybe Captain America actually on the moon? Is that where Secret Invasion is going to happen? Like, is he actually up there? Like, is he doing these things? Is that why they're planting the seeds? So I was like, oh, interesting. So I was like, could this be seeds for the future? Could this just be whatever? But
it could be nothing. It could be something that pays off like 3 years down the line.
Exactly. But we know Chris Evans is slated to be in another movie or a project. He signed the dotted lines.
Is that a fact or just a dense rumor?
Hollywood. I get all my sources from Hollywood Reporter, so I try not to like look at other things. But they said that he's confirmed for a one or two things, like Robert Downey Jr. was kind of sprinkled in.
Right.
So he's willing to come back. So hey, I'm down. So
of course. I'm actually. Well, I guess we'll get to that later. Remind me, I had a Chris Evans thought about at the end. We'll get there. Like in the near the ending of the episode, there was a moment. But yeah, I'm obviously down for seeing. Would you rather see younger, 1950s, 60s, 70s Steve Rogers, or do you want to see 2025 Steve Rogers?
I want to see old man Cap.
Is he old man Cap in 2025?
Yeah.
No, then not okay.
Wouldn't he be? I mean,
yeah, I guess. But what is he going to really do? That I want to see Chris Evans come back for it. It could just be like a phone call, his voice on the phone. That's it. At that point, we've already seen old Cap. We've got the memes for it. So I don't think there's much more. Let's see. So there's a lot of chaos going on in the building. All the senators and stuff are scared. They're getting evacuated, but they notice there's no movement outside. And Sam figures out, I think they're trying to get them out of the building. We got to keep everyone inside. And then Carly calls somebody who hands Bucky the phone, because they just happen to be near him. Be like, hey, it's Carly. This call's for you. And then Bucky, he's going the Sam approach. He's still trying to talk her down, talk some sense into her. She's like, both of us, we've done this before. We're fighting for something that's bigger than ourselves. And it seems like a deep, meaningful conversation. And then at the end of it, Carly's like, sucker, I was just distracting you while one of my guys got away. And then Sharon and Bucky have to stop some of these people taking the senators away on these two cars that are being evacuated. Sharon stops one of the he's super powered, right?
I don't know.
It's assumed that he is the security guard or one of the, because she's like, I took one of them down, and Sam's like, how did you do it?
I think that there are 8 super soldiers in their crew.
Yeah. And
I did not keep a tally as to how many have gotten picked off or knocked off along the way. I know one for sure got killed by John Walker. I don't know if the person that was handled in this one, but they have way more people in, according, in their cause than they do that are super soldier.
Right. And in that time, GSP comes back. Batroc comes back. He's fighting Sam because he's there. He's like, you cost me a lot of money. And Sam lucks out because of all the super soldiers that could be there, that he could be fighting. He doesn't have any superpowers. He gets like the regular human dude with no powers other than a lot of martial arts training. So he fights him there.
And he didn't beat him.
No. He just peaced out.
Peaced out. Bigger fish to fry, buddy.
Imagine someone coming for you for revenge, or you're going for someone for revenge. It's like, you did this to me. The guy's like, I don't have time for you. Yeah. He just looked out the window. What's he's standing there after? They should have showed him like, oh, just all like really sad.
How did you guys feel about them not resolving that relationship? Okay, I guess it's a loaded question. I should just say what I think. I do not like that Sam did not beat anyone in a fight today.
No, he beat one person.
Who did he beat?
The guy in the helicopter.
Okay. So he beat the helicopter pilot.
Yes.
Whose hands were busy. Yeah, but in terms of just squaring off, he didn't beat anybody. I think I need to be able, if I'm gonna believe in my Captain America, I need them to be able to win a fight. I need to see
a lot of low-level people.
I need to see them take on someone who outpowers them. That for me has always been one of my favorite things about Batman, is that he would handle supervillains as well as with strategy, with using the space. And Falcon Cap can use drones, get a better angle, make a strategy, like get a quick read, something where I just need to see him do like overcome an obstacle that seems like it's too hard. So like we believe in them, you know what I mean? Like if Steve Rogers beats Batroc, it feels like he's kind of slumming it. Like
he has a lot of ground fights.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there are no other real airborne villains,
He needs to beat somebody at some point. Yeah. I needed to see one fight where he wins. But anyway.
One of the things I kind of was like mad about this whole thing, and this could be a hot take, but I just felt that Sam was like a hybrid between Captain America and Iron Man. I don't know. I just felt
it was like a Iron Man suit almost, right?
Yeah.
With
the wings give that element to it, and it just makes it like Iron Man-ish. And like the Red Wing makes it Iron Man. Like he could go Red Wing, do this, and he could scan. This is exactly what we see with Tony Stark. So is this like a new amalgamation of both characters because they're technically gone? I don't know. I just was like, this is kind of, I don't know.
So Iron Man and Cap are gone, so we'll roll them into one character with their same functions and traits. It may be.
I kind of liked him in Civil War when he had Red Wing and he's like using his arm unit to like track where people are, and Red Wing can fire darts or bullets or whatever, and
Red Wing also got leveled up.
Yeah, and like his wings are like armored, and like he had all that stuff going for him. So I'm okay with the shield, wing, armor, suit, all that stuff. I just want to see him overcome something that we didn't think he was going to win.
I get you.
If he can't beat Batroc in 30 seconds, like,
I get you. Because Cap's always like, they're like, stand down. He's like, I could go all day. He's always persistent. And, I get what you're looking for from that.
Mm-hmm. I want to see him kick someone's butt. Feels good.
Let's see. So, yeah, GSP, and then Sharon takes down one of those guys, and Sam's like, how did you do that? And then she uses crazy technology. So I have to assume that guy was super powered, because Sam's like, how come Agent 13 is able to take down one of their guys? She uses some sort of mercury vapor that like melts the dude. You see him, his skin's all gone in the car. So that was pretty crazy. That's got to be some Madripoor technology. She's not the power yet, is she?
Or can we talk about what other technology it could be?
What other technology, Jason? Remember, you stopped asking. You can just say it. Just say it.
What if she's a Skrull?
What if she's a Skrull?
Maybe she has access to all sorts of things, right? So
honestly, but Jason, that was my thought the whole time too. Yeah. I was like 100%, because you have to really think about Sharon Carter as a character. Like from Winter Soldier to Civil War, she wasn't this person who was like, well, she was, but she wasn't. She was more wholesome. Like she was more like,
definitely in Winter Soldier, she was wholesome.
Yeah, she was like
very clear on the side.
Yeah, very clear. And now this, like, she's turned a whole 180, and it's like a different character. So for me, it's like there has to be something here. This is definitely a seed, because like it just felt like I don't know. It was just like even when we saw her before, I was like, this is not like, I understand like her, like her whole thing about the government hates me, blah 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 blah. But there was always something sinister I felt about her
in this series. Yes,
in the series, and I was like, something's off. So as soon as I was like, I don't know, I just kept on thinking scroll. So yeah, no.
We get ahead of ourselves, right? Like that's one of the troubles with being a comic or cartoon or not gossip, but you know what I mean. The gossip follower is that we are always thinking about what's the next thing. And Marvel has been giving us so much content. Marvel Studios have been giving us so much content for so many years that we are like always like, give me more. Let's go. You know,
yeah, conditioned to look for more.
We're always conditioned to look for more and look for the next thing. So totally I love the we're gonna get Mephisto jokes forever, and it's funny every single time. I mean that.
What happens when we actually get Mephisto? And
if
then
we ever
afterwards,
Mephisto in the MCU,
there'll be a new
is
joke.
like Banshee in Marvel Legends.
Oh, not happening.
Kevin Feige will give it to you and then leave.
Honestly, I don't know.
It felt like we said before. She's a big meh. And if she's a Skrull, fine. If she isn't, fine. She isn't the thing that's going to elicit the big response out of me one way or the other.
So, in the beginning, when Sam says, "I called in for backup," and then Sharon shows up, reveals herself. Sam says on the phone or through the comms to Bucky, "He's like, is that Sharon I hear?" Did he seem surprised to you, or is that definitely who he called for backup?
That's who he called. Was there any other backup that showed up?
I don't know. it just didn't. It just seemed very weird because he's like, "Oh, is that Sharon I hear?" Like, why would he seem surprised?
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of also going, why isn't like War Machine here? Why couldn't you call that for backup? I mean,
right.
You have his number. Like you knew
he shot it with Don Cheadle when he was on set.
Right.
So I just felt like, okay. So honestly, like I gotta say, like as much as like I want to like Sharon Carter, I just don't care about Sharon Carter.
Exactly. It's the indifference that she elicits as a character, and we're not going to blame the actress. We're not going to do that kind of thing.
No.
Like the character does not elicit a strong response one way or the other. You know, she's like, you know, she's not Peggy. Mm-hmm. Peggy gets a huge reaction out of everybody back when. You know, she's not Black Widow. She's just nothing. She hasn't had any moments that have made her endeared to us. Like she was not even a side character. Like she's just a kind of like an extra that they've put in this weird role. And but let's just see how it plays out. We obviously know that something else is coming, but yeah, we'll see if they can do anything to her to make her more impactful as a character down the road. But who knows?
Another quick scene from before. Carly was talking to some of her crew, and they're like, "Oh, if it all goes south, just kill them, kill the hostages." And she's like, and even if we die, the movement's bigger. Like the movement's bigger than the four of us or all of us. It'll keep going. And the three of her in her group are just like, they're kind of hesitant. She's like, she's trying to start the mantra, and they're not really repeating it. She's like, is it one world, one power, or one power?
One world, one people.
One people, yeah. And she says it, and they didn't say it back to her real quick. It's just like okay, that doesn't really pay off either. It's
right.
You figure at some point, because they've been building up to this. It's happened a while. She's getting crazier and crazier, and these guys seem more and more hesitant. People who are with her, but you know, at some point, you think like one of the people in their positions, they're just like they stop following her. They're like, you've gone too far. But I don't know, that doesn't happen at all. I don't know. They keep kind of hinting towards that, but
right, that their lack of conviction to the cause. Like she's with martyr herself for it,
right? And
they're like, we like it, you know, as a Facebook group, but we don't want to go beyond that. Like we're into this. We made T-shirts. Like maybe we have a brunch one day, right? Like, but this is where we weren't really imagining we were all going to die for it. You know,
that's hilarious.
Hey, can I go totally on a tangent here, off topic? As long as you can bring us back, I'm going to take us off the rails for a second.
Sure,
Kevin. I'm looking at your X-Men behind you. That Wolverine's got to get subbed out, dude. He is as orange as Jean Grey, and it's like he's got to be yellow. You got to get the yellow one.
I have the yellow.
You got to come on.
One.
You can't look at that anymore.
3-pack one over there. It's the order in which I got them. That's why.
You know what? It's not good enough. If you want to have a YouTube channel, you want people to watch your show, you need to have a yellow Wolverine who has the same colors as Jubilee and Cyclops. You know, we can't have no Jean Grey colored suit on Wolverine. He's orange. Come on.
It's crazy. Now that you pointed out, he is very orange.
But then you have to swap Rogue then.
Yes. But at least she's behind.
I have the new Rogue.
Well, we got to hook you up with that somehow. But that Wolverine, Wolverine is a marquee character. That shit's got to go, dude.
I have an all Wolverine shelf over there. Does that make up for it?
No. Then turn around.
So bringing us back on track. So their plan was to trap all these people into a car, and they were going to be hostages. And if not, she would drive them off the road into this construction site. I don't know, but at some point they get slowed down, and who shows up? John Walker Cap with his new shield, and that first confrontation with him and Carly was kind of sad. She's like, dude, I didn't mean to kill your friend. I don't want to hurt nobodies, like people who don't mean anything. He's like, dude, you killed my friend and you think he doesn't mean anything? Like that was the most heartless thing that she could have said.
Yeah. Honestly, can we just talk about that fight though? Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I was like, this episode in the beginning had me on the edge of my seat, and like this fight was like, oh my gosh. But like, can we just talk about that garbage pail, like freaking shield? That thing did not hold up at all.
Here's the thing. He threw it, they kicked it down, and his face was like, I don't know, he expected more, but here's the thing. When Sam was fighting with Batroc, he threw a vibranium shield at him, and then Batroc was like, let me just kick this regular ass chair in the air and just knock the shield down to the ground. With the shield that you've seen like go through concrete and like break through trees and stuff, this one like office chair just goes bing, and then they both fell down. So I mean, if Spider-Man says this thing defies physics, it absolutely does, in like ways that help you and ways that it doesn't.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah, but honestly, like I thought like they were going to be like more evenly matched because they both had the super serum in them.
I don't agree, man.
You don't think so?
No, there's a really big difference. Just like, is pronounced Toirensu? Is that how it's pronounced in the comments? I agree with the comment there. We were watching this morning, the four of us, my wife, 2 kids are all watching. And I just, the fight's going on. And I said to my wife, happy birthday to her, by the way.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Hey. I said, hey, she took the super soldier serum, but she ain't a super soldier. No. Right? Like Toirensu's saying, she's not trained.
Right. He's military trained.
Is like peak military and the serum. It should be like block crunch. Like, no problem, for that fight, unless you're going to add another element to it, like he's got a torn ACL and she has a giant sword, like something that elevates her and brings him down a notch, because it is not at all a fair fight if she's not trained to fight. So she has heightened reflexes and heightened strength and resilience, but not heightened knowledge of how to use her body to combat someone who's highly trained.
She didn't just download moves of like how to block and attack and move and like dodge, and so it doesn't make sense, especially the part when they were under the construction, the scaffolding in a really tight space, and John Walker's just like swinging a shield trying to hit her, and she's able to dodge and swing up and kick him in the head. And
that's exactly what I'm saying. Like she had it looked like she had training, but like she didn't, and it was like, but she was kicking his ass, and I was like, what's happening? What is happening?
Well, I think this is maybe where it comes down to a couple of the problems. Like they created, again, like now going outside the story into how they make these things, they create a villain and a climax where the stakes aren't actually stacked up well. And I think we all enjoyed watching it today. And like one of these recaps, we start to nitpick because we can, but we all enjoyed the hour, right? Like it was entertaining. We all had fun. And we were glad. And, I'm really glad the thing got made. But there's no question that when you watch this stuff, like the fighting and the stacking up of the action doesn't line up against things that are just like actual action movies, like John Wick, for instance. So you're not watching Falcon Winter Soldier for your action fix. You're watching John Wick or whatever, insert name of whatever it is here. You're watching it for like the drama of the characters with a good dose of action. But really, I found all the action stuff. I want Marvel to up their game in that one area. I think they can bring. way more to it, and have like fights that look. I mean, look at Falcon the Winter Soldier. No, sorry, pardon me. Look at Captain America Winter Soldier. The fight with him and Batroc. Look at the fight between Steve Rogers and Winter Soldier, the knife fight that they have, the choreography with that thing.
Yeah, that was cool.
At the van in Washington when they were having that fight. Now, this might be the difference between having the budget and time to make a movie, and the budget and time to make a TV show. It might be that gap that we're experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
But the action stuff it's not going to hold up upon second and third viewing as like beautiful choreography or beautiful cinematography or like even well-balanced fights. They just seem like they're there to serve the story as opposed to them being cool unto themselves. I want to see a cool fight.
When you saw Bucky in the Winter Soldier, he almost gave you like a Terminator vibe where you couldn't overpower him. He fought Cap, he fought Natasha all in the same fight, and Black Widow's just like barely staying in the fight. She's basically on the defensive the whole time. And you don't get that from this Bucky. And, the chat brings up a good point. Is it just a coincidence? Is it an excuse? He's like, oh, maybe he's holding back. Are we making excuses for him? He doesn't want to be the killer he was. But he's just fighting a regular long-haired dude who's swinging a parking meter at him.
It's a good weapon, by the way.
That seems like that's very video game-ish, like Ninja Turtles.
Totally.
Or something like that. You just grab it out of the ground.
I feel like Bucky could have handled the whole situation on his own if he had like 5 minutes with a notepad. They're like, okay, this is there. Okay, good. Here we go. And he would just go in and dissect them all. Turn on a little bit of that strategy.
If they made a point like John Walker got a shittier version of the serum than the other people,
right,
or he didn't have time for it to really develop. Maybe it takes time to develop full power. I don't know. Or maybe he got into a car accident on the way and he was really groggy. Like there's something like that, right? Because just like in Star Wars, how did Rey beat Kylo Ren when she hasn't been trained? And then people were excusing, but Chewbacca shot him with a bowcaster first, so he was severely crippled and therefore at a lower level, something like that. As flimsy as that part is, it's like there was none of that here.
That guy was using the Force to hold in his guts.
I guess that does take away from your
come on. And also space magic, right?
Space magic for sure.
But anyway, taking at night brought the whole. Yeah, I think they can hide a lot that way by having the scenes at night. You can blend in any CGI that you need to without as much scrutiny. You can get away with a lot. I find
I was watching on my phone. What's the difference?
Oh, really? Were you watching at 3 a.m. or something?
Actually, I did. My son woke me up and at 3, and then I went back to bed, and then he woke up again, and I said, screw it. I'm just going to get my headphones and watch it now anyway. And then I didn't sleep till 4:45. So.
Oh, Kevin, I feel for you, buddy.
Oh, my God. But hey, first episode that I watched at 3 a.m. So that was cool.
Same. I literally messaged you. I was like, ... Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
What are you doing up? You don't have children. And I'm like, oh, right. You don't have children. You don't have to go to sleep yet. That makes sense.
Want to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier together? You up?
Yeah.
I was up at 3 and I was, hey, I'm watching this show. And then literally at 4 o'clock, I messaged Kevin. I was like, hey, are you watching? Because he was online. I was like, and he's like, I don't have my headphones. And I was like, oh, he's like, F it, I'm getting my headphones. And then
my friend messaged me at that time too. He's like, how are the kids? I'm like, I'm up at 3:30. How do you think the kids are? He goes, oh shit, sorry. So there's a chase. Am I skipping over the fight too hard or too much? You don't have to break down a fight. We're not choreographers. We don't fight. I thought it was cool that he had the Medal of Honor there in the shield, even though it got kicked down so easily. It kind of gave him a little bit of I guess strength to get back into the fight. But eventually they all have to. What happens? Sam comes in and he lifts that truck that's falling off the edge.
Well, first there was a moment before that where John Walker has to choose between revenge and saving people. That's the moment of truth for him, where we get to see that his redemption moment, where he gets to pick that thing,
Mhm.
and he chose right, you know,
Mhm.
so that we believe in him a little bit. We believe that there is some hope for the character,
Like,
that he
I think
isn't just a fist, you know.
I think what he wanted to do was redeem himself, because he, in his eyes, he's still Captain America. He is still this person that he wants people to be like, listen, like, I'm that person who you can believe in, and he wants to
Yeah,
prove
he
people
hasn't even
wrong.
seen Sam yet.
No, but like, I literally was like, you know what, like, this is, he's doing his redeeming dance, and I was totally in for it. I was like, yo, this is great,
That's
because
cool.
like, at the end of the day, we don't want to see, like, the character like totally go crazy, because then that's a whole different ball game.
Then they have to take him down all the way. You
Exactly.
have to put down a wild dog, right?
Yeah, and I was like, and I personally want to see what else this character has. So,
Right.
so I really like this whole him redeeming himself. So
yeah, just put him in that enough in the category where he can be an anti-hero, not a villain.
Right. And he was like, this shield sucks. I can't do anything with this. He drops it, grabs the truck, pulls it to, you know, just in time to give Sam a chance to fly there. And again, very Iron Man-ish. He's like holding up a truck with purely on the strength of his jetpack. And 2 red wings attach, and then they give a little boost.
This was so Spider-Man Homecoming vibe.
That was that moment for sure. But I'm just gonna talk physics for a second. If there's a human body between a really powerful force going this way and a really powerful force going this way, the human body doesn't get to go. The human body does this. And it gets squished between the 2 powerful things.
Right.
So it would have been hilarious. You have him basically getting crushed by his jetpack, pushing upward.
Because basically you're saying gravity of the truck and his jetpack is not as strong as his arms, like his biceps, his back, his shoulder, just
more
pushing.
Just the joints would give on the body. Like his
usually
vertebrae would just
your shoulder or something, your back. Well, you can't put his back because it's on his back, but yeah.
It doesn't matter how much the thrust is going behind him and how much
unless he was wearing a suit of an Iron Man suit, which is why it's
unless there is
Iron
mechanics in to protect his joints, because he would have been crushed, and it would have been really funny to like just see the suit go up in his face. But
like Family Guy or something. Maybe on like the Family Guy parody they would have that.
But if they want to say to us that his suit has those things, all it would have taken is like the ripple of the blue light going through the kinetic end, like something to show us that there is that Wakandan science in there, like a little something. You know. Yeah, who knows?
Exactly. So they end up rescuing those people. GSP comes back and has a grenade launcher, and the grenade launcher, instead of shooting grenades, he shoots smoke screen, so everyone can leave under the.
Oh, there are tear gas guns. I mean, you can put a.
Was it even tear gas? It didn't seem like they were effective.
No one was crying.
It was literally this smoke screen.
Yeah,
I'm sure the like SWAT team has those kinds of things, don't they? For
honestly, I'm gonna just say this right now. It's gonna be a hot take, but I just feel like GSP and Batroc was so wasted in the show. I don't know. It was cool to see him, but then it was like, what are you doing? Like, what is happening? I just felt like I was like, I just didn't get my fulfillment. If I say that.
George Smoke Pierre.
Yes.
Perfect.
It looks like the chat is agreeing with, you know, our take on the Sam's ability to lift a truck with his jetpack on. It's funny, just to back up a sec, with this idea that we were looking for more from Batroc the Leaper. Like, that tells you what a good job they've done setting up a possible character. Like putting GSP in a role. Of course, you know, it's 3 Canadians here, so you know, we're a little extra excited about that. Maybe you guys care about that. Maybe you don't. I'm a little excited because he's Canadian. But so having, you know, GSP playing this really, really like comedic Jack Kirby character. Like, no one loves Batroc the Leaper. He's never been anyone's like best villain. But they made him kind of cool. Like, I kind of want to see more Batroc from his first appearance in Winter Soldier. And yes, I agree with you, Troy. Like, totally did not get the thing that I wanted to get, which was like honestly a all-out, fat lip, knuckle bruised brawl where we see a person push their limits. And I think, like I said before, the fight between the two of them we could have seen Sam get pushed to his limits if he had stuck around for a proper all the way fight, if it had been necessary for him to take the beating and to dish one out. But they didn't. It wasn't set up that way, right?
Can I show you why I'm so passionate about this?
About GSP?
I met him. I don't know if you can see, but
I can't.
Yeah, I met him in person.
Especially because you're constantly moving it.
Hold still, dude.
I don't know. I think it's just the lights. But yeah,
Sure.
I met him in person in Vegas. So
all we know is that you have a phone.
I do have a phone. But yeah, no,
it could be any two people in that picture. Nice try, Troy.
But yeah, no, I met GSP in Vegas of all places, and he was really cool.
That seems like a proper place you would meet GSP.
Totally.
But he was like it was like an electronic convention, so I was really confused why he was there.
Maybe to promote a video game.
Yes, so it was like, but it was weird because I was like, oh my god, GSP, and he's like, oh, do you want the photo? I was like, yes, and then I got a photo with him, and he left. But yeah, anyways,
did you try and take him? Just like shake a hand and try and.
I did shake his hand, but like it was like really quick, and I was like, get a selfie and let's go. But yeah, but like I don't know, I just felt like I wanted more from his character, and like I just think this show kind of, it was great to see him, but they did it dirty. That's all he did. He did him dirty.
Yeah, I feel. Are we being nitpicky, or are we just expecting too much?
We're being nitpicky.
Yeah,
he was basically just in this show. Like he isn't even ranked as a villain on the show. He was in the first episode, in the first scene, kind of thing, and then he's back at the end.
Goon.
He's not even like, we have the villain of Carly and all those whatever they're called. We have, John Walker. We have maybe the Power Broker. We have Zemo. Like he's just. He ranks lower than a couple of Carly's people in terms of how important he is for the whole story. So him coming on was maybe just for fun, but if they wanted to make the fight more meaningful, they would have had to make his character more important.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Which I was down for.
Yeah,
I would watch a whole Sam versus Batroc series, 6 episodes. Go.
I don't know about that. They're running away in the smoke screen, and so they decide to split up. So they're chasing super powered humans with the super soldier serum. John Walker, Sam, and Bucky. So John Walker and Bucky are like, we're going to go this way. We're going to leave you, regular guy with a shield and fancy wings, by yourself. And I get they want to partner up somebody with John Walker because they still don't know how unstable he is. The last they saw him, he just killed somebody, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, wouldn't it make sense to have like Sam go with him instead of 2 superpowered people hunting superpowered people, and then like Sam by himself? It just seemed like the matchup didn't really tactically didn't like work out there. But they go anyway, and I guess for the story's sake, because it would be Sam who who comes across Carly. And Carly is she runs into Sharon Carter first, and the big reveal is she's the power broker, which there's all these things that are like it doesn't really make sense. Like Troy said before, she wasn't like this. The character seems completely off. GSP kind of shows up. He's like, "Oh, you're the power broker. Now I want 4 times the money," or he's blackmailing her, but I don't know. And then he dies by gunshot wound.
Yep.
Waste.
Not even putting up another fight would be cool, fight to the death.
Does any of this raise the value of our Batroc the Leaper Marvel Legend figure from the Thanos Build-A-Figure wave or whatever wave it was?
I don't even have that.
No, I have it. Honestly, I don't think it does, but like I wouldn't mind getting a MCU version of him.
Yeah, I think an MCU would be much better than.
But they have to give him the purple maroon jacket that he wore in his first couple appearances with. So at least there's the nods to his Jack Kirby costume.
What's the weird purple and green in like this episode, this series? The webcam fell over.
Oh,
I fucking hate that thing.
As long as you knocking stuff over eventually gets you to have a yellow Wolverine, then I don't mind you knocking stuff over.
I'm keeping it there just before.
So one of my biggest
I love the GSP kit bash. I remember looking for one. I don't know if anyone ever tried, tracking down a figure with the GSP head and figuring which MCU bodies it would go with. I was looking at them before they had made the Killmonger body, but it seems like the Killmonger legs, which are also, I believe, the Winter Soldier legs, which are also the Mandarin's legs and Punisher's legs, MCU Punisher. I don't even know anymore. I've lost track. But that would be now the lower half I'd go for. But I don't know what upper body you do with a GSP Patrick
I mean, you could definitely repaint like the Guardians of the Galaxy Star-Lord t-shirt, and you could have like that red jacket, but like
yeah, you could do a jacket and t-shirt. Yeah, okay.
You could do that.
I'm interested if anyone else in the comments there has like a good recipe for an MCU
I love it.
GSP kit bash. But of course now, because Hasbro has been so amazing with the face print, digital face print technology, like the wrestling figures wouldn't do it justice. Like I'm now, my standards are too high.
I mean, I don't like, I'm 100% sure we're going to get him down the line. Like, it's not going to be now, but they always do the summer programs where it's like the MCU focused things. And, we had we're getting the Infinity Saga this year. So next year could be like, phase 4 event or something. And we could get that in a 2-pack with an updated XYZ character. So
stick him in the wave.
Sharon Carter
characters. I wouldn't buy a Sharon Carter in Batroc 2-pack.
No. Okay, so but going back to Sharon Carter though. So what really confused me. So I did mention that she was a couple weeks ago. I was like, maybe she is the power broker. But we had a misdirect by Zemo a couple episodes ago where he's like, listen, I met the power broker.
Right.
And so
before everything.
Yeah. So I was like, wait, what happened? Like, if you knew, like, is it a new power broker? Was it something? So I don't know.
He says it's a he.
He said it was a he. Yeah. So I don't know. I personally felt that it was like we all saw it coming, but we all hoped it wasn't coming.
It's
right. I see what you mean. We're hoping for something more interesting.
Yeah.
And then there was that thing where it's like, if she was the power broker, why is she helping Carly by sending? I love that it's easier to say GSP than Batroc, but so why is she sending the GSP to go help him?
Yeah.
And I guess they kind of cover that. It's like, oh, she just sent him to help her, but also keep tabs on her. And then I guess it's her backup plan.
Sure. Like Chamba and Torrance were saying, like maybe power broker is a mantle, it's a role. And just to then add on to that or take that one step to the left, maybe also she's a Skrull. So she just changes the face, and she also had that face cloth. So maybe that dude was the power broker man face she wears. I don't think that's the real answer. I'm just joking around.
I mean, it does make sense because if Zemo did meet her a couple years ago, she would have been in disguise. Well, he would have recognized her, so she could have been in disguise. So you never know.
I think he said he met her before, like everything, the power broker. So it's before she even had to go, on the lam.
I don't know. There's just some inconsistencies here with her whole reveal. So I was like, I don't know. I wasn't like 100% about it. So
I don't know if I agree with you that there's inconsistencies. I just think it's weak.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it all like it lines up. It just isn't a good line.
Yeah,
it was probably edited by somebody like me, super lazy and terrible editing skills.
Well,
putting it together, and it just doesn't line up.
Please, Troy.
I will give them credit though because this episode was filmed half before the pandemic and then literally in October. So there could be some story things that happen and all this stuff. So things could have been
pivot.
Yeah. So like, we don't know. So like, I do have, but this also brings back to my other question. Did you guys find it choppy in the beginning? Like things were just not lining up properly. And it was just like this happening, this happening, this happening.
Like the edits?
Yeah. Cause someone was talking to me about it today. They're like, did you notice that it was like, this was happening and it was just too choppy? And I was like, I think it was probably because of the pandemic and they had to stop. And
I feel that way in the end where they're just like, okay, now we have to cover tied up this story, so we're going to put this, and then we're going to put this, and then we're going to put this.
I definitely felt that one of the wrapping up, one of the epilogues, which we'll get to in a minute or two. I found in general the live action sequences I did not find had the same flow that I think I would have liked from other action movies. I didn't find the directing and the cinematography or whatever the camera work to be. I actually found it noticeably distracting. Good special effects you're not supposed to notice. That's the idea. Is you're not supposed to notice that they are special effects. Good directing, good cinematography. You're not supposed to notice that it's there. You're just supposed to believe it. Good acting. You're not supposed to see a person acting. You're supposed to believe they are that person, which is what makes Wyatt Russell's performance so good. So I was noticing the directing choices. I was like noticing camera angles and edits, which means I'm being taken out of the experience of watching it because of the choices that the crew are making, which I don't know if that's bad, but it shouldn't have happened. I should just be able to watch it and consume it without having to be dissecting while it's happening. But I was definitely distracted by those kinds of edits and camera choices for sure.
Well, now we are film snobs.
No, man. I don't know enough about how to make a TV show to tell you what makes it good or bad. But I do know enough to know that I'm not supposed to be thinking about that while I'm watching it.
Yeah. Like
I do that too, and I feel like, am I just being overly critical? Should I just shut up and just watch this for? But then that's why we're talking about it now. I watched it with my brain shut off, and then now it's like we can kind of go into what we noticed.
Sure, there are more things made by more productions made right now to fill so many more channels than ever before. So it only stands to reason that there cannot be so many things done at an elite level.
Right.
So when something comes along that really is so seamless, you don't even notice it's being made. Like you don't even notice there was a camera trick. You don't even know.
Yeah.
We should appreciate it that much more because it is really special with so much out there being made right now.
So Kirby Kwan has a good point here because there was supposed to be some virus or something, but they took that out. So
that's why they were stealing vaccines or something.
Yeah, so this is where this whole like this choppiness I felt came from, because maybe they had to take something out and then they had to put something in. So this is where I felt there was a lot of inconsistencies in here, because like when I saw the guy go like with that virus thing in his face, I thought that was the virus.
Maybe
I was like, maybe they kept it in, because like, why would they show like that scene where the gas is just coming out of the car kind of thing? I was like, is this something that was supposed to be in the original series kind of thing? So, that's what I was thinking about. So there was definitely a plot that was taken out. Hopefully they maybe put it back in when they do whatever.
Let's talk about it, in the context of this is what we had to do because of good taste with the global pandemic that was actually happening. So does everyone know what ADR stands for, by the way? In
audio, it's like post-production audio.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know what it is, but I don't exactly know. I think the A stands for audio and then R stands for recording, or would that be too redundant? I don't know what the D stands for.
Audio something.
I don't know.
Either way, but it's the when there's voiceover recorded while we're looking at something else.
Yeah.
Right. Like, yeah. Anyway, so there was a lot of that, and it definitely affects the flow and orientation of how we watch those scenes. Like it changes our sense of space and movement and all that kind of stuff. It impacts, but I think we can probably assess that this episode, like the footage had to be salvaged. They had to salvage what they could out of those 2 times that they were shooting, whether back in October and back before that. And if you think about it in that kind of respect, it's kind of a miracle that the thing got made.
But I'm like, listen, like we're being very nitpicky, I gotta say.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
This show still is great.
Agreed. I enjoyed every minute of watching it. I enjoyed.
Great. I just personally feel like
I enjoyed every minute.
I enjoyed it. Like I don't care that we're like we're fans and we're allowed to dissect these things.
For sure.
But at the end of the day, did it give me entertainment? Did I enjoy it? Yes and yes. So this lets us fans pick it apart and say, hey, well, maybe this time when they do this, this could happen, or this felt this way. So like I don't want anyone to think that we hate it, because like I absolutely love this series.
I don't think we're the only ones that can see this stuff too.
No,
and then if we don't see it, you know, someone watching this, you know, it's something that we can all talk about too. Somebody else has noticed it. And if we just kind of gloss over it, it's just like, these guys are watching the same thing. Like this shit just, you know, they just didn't notice it. But you know, back to the actual scene, Sam's fight with Carly, he wasn't fighting her the whole time. Like Jason said, he didn't take down anyone. It was really cool though when he was blocking with the shield, he dug the wings into the ground to give himself I don't know just ground
stability or whatever.
Literally grounding himself to have more strength to push back. So that was cool. He didn't want to fight her, but Carly ends up getting shot by Sharon, and while she's dying, I feel like she could be like, she's the power broker. But it's like, it's her right there. I don't know. I don't know why that didn't happen. I feel like that
Skywalker moment.
Yeah.
How many bullets did Captain America take? I mentioned this I think last week. I think he took 2 or 3 bullets in Captain America and the Winter Soldier while he's switching the cards in the helicarrier. Like he gets shot 2 or 3 times. But where did Carly get hit? In the chest?
Like somewhere.
Body.
Was it a pistol or a rifle? I've already forgotten.
I don't know. I think it was like
Sharon was holding a pistol. Sharon was holding like a pistol. She's had it at her side when Batroc was like, "I want the 4 times money," and then she was like, she had it ready.
Who shot Sharon? Carly,
because they were in the standoff. Sharon shot Batroc. Carly shot Sharon. She went down. Carly went to fight Sam, and then Sharon was still alive, so she shot Carly. They both got shot, but Sharon seemed to handle it better, because afterwards she was just like leaning against the car by herself, holding some gauze, like one piece of gauze to her guts. Yeah, she's a Skrull. There's like different colored blood coming out. Anyway,
she had green ears like this.
Yeah, I feel like Carly could have just been, oh, by the way, you know that power broker you were looking for? It's her. You know,
right?
Even get to that much of a reveal, but no. And then I guess Sharon walks away with you know, getting her pardon that she gets. Sam flies out, carries Carly's body with the wings out, very like the imagery, almost like an angel, you know, when he lands. And then I just thought, when the wings folded back, it didn't look mechanical at all. It honestly looked like angelic, some sort of, you know, organic wings, if that's a real thing. And then he has a serious talk with the senators. What did you guys think of this scene? He's telling them, like, stop calling these people terrorists. You know, they probably say the same shit about you people. You know, you guys are sitting around voting, making these decisions where, you know, it doesn't affect people like you. You guys can make a phone call, send an email, and change the course of the whole thing, with almost the same power as a deranged god like Thanos. Like literally. Not literally, but figuratively, like at the snap of a finger or press of a button, you can make these changes.
Okay, so I got to say something here. This reminds me exactly of what happened last week. So if we're talking about people who have a whole bunch of power, they can make a phone call, they could do something, and they could change the lives of many. And this is what we felt in our lives last week. Someone could say one thing, and we all, on a flip of a switch, we said no. So that's what that scene reminded me of, like our lives. Like we literally were protesting the decision that they made. I don't want to get into it, but like if you know, you know. So that's what I felt. I was like, listen, like people have so much power, they could change the world, but they're not doing it. They're literally making the world worse. They could do something about stuff, and they have the power to, and they're just not doing it. And Sam was right. He's like, listen, you could call someone and you could feed 1,000 people. And this is where I thought this is Captain America. This is what he does. This elevated his character from side character to like main man status. So I was like,
he's got the suit, man. He's got the suit. The cameras are rolling.
And agreeing with building on what you said, that is the moment that John Walker realized he wasn't supposed to be Captain America. He witnessed Sam elevating his role, taking on the role of figurehead, of community leader, you know, of hero of the people, and he's like, okay, I can be an agent of the government. I can be an agent of military infrastructure, but I can't be a leader of the spirit of freedom. The way that this human being can, a symbol. I need to be able, you know, Cap needs to be able to have these conversations and not alienate either party in the argument, but bring them together. That again, it comes back to like the Spider-Man principle of power, responsibility. Like for him saying, like, because you have all this power, you actually have the responsibility to look at things more nuanced than terrorist and government. Like you have to look at it more nuanced because you have the power to draw lines in, like literally put up walls and literally starve people to death. Right. Because you have that power, you need to have a more nuanced view and make decisions that with more information and more thought, which was really, really cool. Like to hear him give a little lecture and school them was a great moment for sure.
I kept looking at Sam's ears in the costume.
I did too.
It was distracting. It was.
Right.
Which is too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I love that moment of like realization from John Walker. He literally just goes, that simple nod literally just made me go,
the office nod.
The office nod, yeah. He understood. He understood the assignment, and he got it. And like, I just felt like, you know, like that was the moment of redemption, second redemption for John.
Right. And now we can root for John Walker again.
I think so.
Yep,
for sure. And now we had this back to action figures. We had this conversation before about. I was saying before that I only want to get one figure. I don't want to have. There's not room for two John Walkers on my shelf. And Troy, you were saying that you want the exclusive in the Captain America costume because it's kind of neat. It was in the show, the packaging, and now I know which one I want. I want the one I can root for. I'm always hero focused instead of villain focused. So I want the one in black because I can. Yeah,
I just want that unmasked head sculpt. That looks so good.
Yeah. We can talk about that late at the end at the toy wrap up. But it's that scene when Sam's talking to the senators. And John Walker realizing like he wouldn't be able to do that. I was watching it. I'm like, what would John do? And what would he do in this situation? He'd be like, he would just yell, "I'm Captain America," and try to be like, which one of these dudes do I punch in the face to get my point across? Like that's how he would operate.
And these are the same people that stripped him of his power too. So to see him like actually acknowledge that he's not Captain America in front of these people, like that says something. Because it's like they took his mantle away. But then Sam fully showed that to these people that no, like I'm this Captain America. So,
and then there was the part where the old guy's like, "Hey, it's Black Falcon," and then they're like, "No, man, that's Captain America." And it was like, yeah, that was a little bit earlier in that fight scene, but then it's reaffirmed when the speech is done, and then Sam goes to Bucky. He's like, "Hey, good job, Cap," and then like that's the first time he calls him Cap. So that was really cool, and then. It's at this point where it just seems like it's a bunch of different threads being, finished. What was it? Zemo, the
we didn't even talk about that. The part where Zemo's, I guess it's coming now, right?
Yeah, that's butler. But it was funny because how the two superpowered heroes, John and Bucky, capture the rest of the Flag Smashers was just like, "Hey, I used your phone app and I just got to where you were going." And, I'm like, did he hack his phone or how did he get the app? And then I remember the person that handed him the phone in the building, left the app installed for him to use. So they're arrested, they're carted off in some police car, and then even the cop or the officer who's loading him in the car does another Hail Hydra type scene where it's just like one people, whatever. And then the thing blows up. And then you have this old dude in a car.
Alfred.
Yeah, Alfred. He's like,
Alfred.
It took me way too long to realize who he was. But then they cut to Zemo in the jail cell right after. So, and I was like, oh, that's his butler that you saw for 8 seconds, however many episodes ago.
Did they name him?
I don't know. He was Alfred waiting for freaking Zemo on the tarmac, right? So it was very quick. So I guess that's where Zemo's story in this series does end. Like he finishes off his mission of getting rid of more super soldiers. Well, he doesn't finish it, but he's still working on it, even from prison, which is pretty cool.
So it was nice to see that prison again, by the way, just because it tied back to Civil War, including the prison uniform that he wore. It was like, I know that cell. Sam's been in that cell.
It's kind of funny because like they were supposed to go to the raft and he's in the raft, so he kind of avoided that whole situation. But the butler's name is Oznek.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did you just Google that right now?
I did Google it because I was really curious. I was like, what's the butler's name? Oznek.
Yeah, Kirby says the same thing. He says I legit didn't even make that connection to Zemo. It was just an old dude. I didn't get it. But then I guess they left it up. Be like, oh, viewer, you should be smart enough to piece this together. If I shove Zemo's face right after the butler in the car doing this kind of thing, then you should know that is his butler and it's part of his plan. Yeah. I don't know. Anything to add to that?
That was cool. I was fine with it.
Yeah, I was fine with it. I thought I was like, man, Alfred's getting some action in this movie. So that's what I was thinking.
I thought it was who gets his hands dirty though.
Yeah, I was like, this is cool. I mean, why?
How did the butler even plant the bomb? Nobody's gonna see Gene with the freaking long coattails and the white gloves walking up to this military car and be like, "Ew."
But remember,
did somebody order some bombs? Like what?
But remember, we're in 2025 here, so they must have some like higher grade technology. And
sure,
he's a Skrull.
He's a Skrull. Yeah, he changed his face, walked in.
Everyone's a Skrull now.
Everything. Yeah, that's the new Mephisto. Very meta.
Yeah, I don't want to worry about how he did it. I agree that there is some fun in that's the nitpick, right? Like that, there is some fun in that. But I'm gonna let that one go because
what's this fucking butler doing here? Why is he here? Nobody saw this guy. It's a fucking butler. He's got like a silver tray and shit. The bombs are on it with a freaking doily.
Bring let the guy into America. What's going on? How did he get in?
But as much as as much as it was a confusing scene, but I enjoyed the scene. I was like, you know what? We're good. We're good.
Ninja Butler. Dude, that's a sick comic book title. Ninja Butler. By day, he is a butler. And I mean, if he's Batman's sidekick, he have ninja-esque skills. They also cut back to redemption story for John Walker. Elaine is back, and she's just being hilarious again.
Her.
What's the name?
Her name?
Oh yes, please.
Countess Valentina Allegra de la Fontaine. I almost screwed it up there, but
people also got to stop calling her Julia Louise.
Yes,
her name is not Julia Louise. It's Louis Dreyfus is her last name.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's a double barrel last name.
But
anyway,
do you know what? Also, people need to stop calling her
Madam Hydra.
Yes,
it's killing me.
It's like online. It's like everyone's like Madame Hydra, Madame Hydra. This is not confirmed. We don't know this. You don't know this. Who are you? Why are you saying this? Like, chill,
Kirby
man.
Kwan, I will fight you.
I can set that up. He's local. I can set that up.
Contessa Valentina Allegra de la Fontaine. That's who she is. She's not Madame Hydra. Stop jumping to the point. She's supposed to be a Nick Fury counterpart.
Yes, I thought I resolved this last week, Internet. How come they all didn't do what I said?
The Internet doesn't care.
This is Kirby's first time tuning in.
So
the first time he was able to make the stream.
Teasing me anyway. But no, as I said last week, and I'll say again this week, when a character gets written for 50 years by several different writers, especially when they're not even a primary or secondary or tertiary character, there are a lot of turns, a lot of reveals, a lot of pull the mask off. I'm actually your twin from another dimension. Mm-hmm. A lot of that stuff happens. Remember, Lois Lane was once black. Putting that out there.
Was
Batman,
she?
there was an issue where they turned her black. She wanted to walk in someone else's shoes. That doesn't mean the character is black.
Right.
Just because it happens once in some comic book, it doesn't mean that's who the character actually is. The character's essence is that she is a female counterpart within the spy world. She was lovers with Nick Fury for a long time, and then they give several heel turns to her character over the decades.
Yeah,
all good. She takes a turn as Madam Hydra as a role.
Yeah,
she is definitely not the Madam Hydra. Like that character would be Viper, the green-haired one. If you had to say Madam Hydra is one person, it's definitely Viper. She had that role for the longest time. And if you take a look at where the Contessa has been lately, she is part of an organization that is called Janus, Janus. Okay, that's the name of the Roman god of duality, the black and the white, which was literally her business card. I mean, they put it on a card and showed it to us. So it's this black, an organization that she represents that is a shadow group similar to S.H.I.E.L.D., similar to Hydra in that world. They probably live in the gray areas of everything. Also on that group is Norman Osborn.
Yep.
Which means for us, we all know Norman Osborn is coming. We all know that flagship villains and like arch nemesis do not appear in someone else's movie first. We're gonna get Norman Osborn in a Spider-Man movie eventually, right? Mm-hmm. Is that fair to say? They're not gonna introduce him in Winter Soldier. They're gonna introduce him where he needs to be, which is in New York City and something Spider-Man related. Mm-hmm. And we all know the Thunderbolts are building. DC has thrown the anti-hero team out at us. We know that anti-heroes work with today's audience. We all want to see the Suicide Squad. Deadpool worked for Fox. We all want MCU. Marvel Studios does not have an anti-hero franchise. It's the kind of the missing piece in the tapestry of the MCU is there is no anti-hero franchise. John Walker is right in that sweet spot now. Right. They have a team that is an anti-hero team controlled by this shadow organization. We got the Thunderbolts ready to go.
I just want to know who she's recruiting in Black Widow.
Well, Black Widow is an anti-hero too. Yelena Belova is an anti-hero. Mm-hmm. She works in that thing as well. So there's no problem having her in, or Taskmaster, we want to see which one of those two it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
The piece that Marvel Studios is looking to build is the anti-hero team because there's a huge market for it. So that's what's happening here. It isn't Hydra. She's not a villain. She is a wrangler for an anti-hero team. She is the what's her name from Suicide Squad?
Amanda Waller.
Amanda Waller, with so much more humor, right?
Yeah,
lighthearted stuff,
like all humor.
I was just happy that she was back, and we thought it was just a cameo, one and done. I was happy that she's back. She's funny as ever. I want this character to continue, and we're gonna see her 100%. We're gonna see her again. So, it was just a good surprise. And again, you're right, Jason. She's not Madame Hydra yet. People, internet, stop it. It drives me crazy.
Toy Ransom says, wasn't Guardians of the Galaxy kind of like that? Yes, no. Guardians of the Galaxy, they're rogues. They're like lovable rogues, the pirate genre, as opposed to anti-hero. Right. So you could, if you were on the Guardians of the Galaxy's ship, you could probably take a nap and you wouldn't end up dead. But if you fall asleep around the anti-heroes, you're probably gonna get taken advantage of in some way.
All right.
The Guardians will draw a mustache on you, but anti-heroes are gonna pick your pocket and eject you from space. Mm-hmm. But we were just joking around, me and you guys remember Richard Kerwin, eh? We were talking about the Julie Louis-Dreyfus stuff and how we all kind of want to see her be able to say, to Nick Fury, Nick, baby, we were great in the 90s when we had our thing. We got to move on.
That's very,
we killed some spies, saved the country, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, that's very Seinfeld-esque.
Yeah, right.
Well, she also says the thing where it's we don't need another Captain America. We need and that's how she comes upon the name, a U.S. agent. Which what we said earlier, he's not going to be a symbol. He's not like a leader. He's just another tool, another military person.
Yeah.
Which
which is what he's good at.
So this makes sense about like his toy that he's getting in this Disney Plus wave. There's no shield. It's just him. So I was like, interesting.
Did he have guns in the toy? I don't remember.
I don't remember, but he had a gun on his side, on his holster in the show.
Okay. And then finally, Bucky visits Mr. Nakajima.
Mm-hmm.
Coming full circle, he finally goes to give the old man some closure about he wasn't sure what happened to his son, and then there's a very tear-jerky scene. He's like, "Hey, man, I did it. Your son's dead. He was killed by me." And then he's like, I had no choice. I thought there would be more. He's like, I thought he would say something like, I was brainwashed. I didn't know what I was. I don't know. He just said, I had no choice. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Someone said that to me. I'm like, that's not a very good answer, especially in like superhero movies. There's always somebody who goes, you always have a choice, or something like, there's always a choice. So to just be like, and he knows, like everyone in the MC, everyone watching knows he was brainwashed, he was controlled. So it could have just been that, and that seemed like another arc that was like, to me, just wrapped up like, okay, the next scene, old man is having lunch back in their spot, and he's not like smiling or whatever, but he's out and living his life. I don't know. Did that seem like a suitable wrap up for that closure for the old man?
No.
I wanted one of two more lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I wanted either be like, James, I'm so glad you finally told me. I've known who you were the whole time. Like I've known you, Bucky Barnes, and I forgive you, or whatever.
Can we still be friends?
Or the other way, which is like him having to, like, you got to face the old man yelling at you. Like that's part of saying you're sorry is giving the person their chance to tell you how they feel, not just I'm dumping an apology on you and I'm running away. Like you gotta. Mm-hmm.
And then I get to do my homework and hand in my homework, my notebook to my teacher, and then get my grades, and that's it. I get my pardon.
Like the old man either had to not forgive him, say I hate you forever, I never want to see you again. You took my only son away, or he had to say like, I know you had no choice. I know who you are, and I forgive you. Like either one of them would be fine, but I needed one more line. Yeah.
That's what we were very like. We were dreading it when it happens. Like, oh, dude, they're friends. When it finally happens, like it's going to be all or nothing, right? They like, what if they're not friends anymore? That's what that's what I was dreading personally. But it's like, I'm just gonna walk by and peep through the window, and he's having lunch, so I'm good with that. Like, oh, okay.
Honestly,
sure.
Sorry, go ahead, Jason. Sorry, I was interrupting.
I'm just joking that the bartender, the woman that he dated that one night, she should have given him the finger through the window. Like, you my friend, son, fuck off.
Honestly, I just felt like the whole Winter Soldier wrap up was kind of too hasty. And another scene that kind of like put me like kind of went, what? So when he's walking into the building, one of the guys is like, oh, Sergeant Barnes. I was like, wait, like everyone knows you're just Sergeant Barnes now? Like,
yeah. I noticed that too.
I was like, I don't get this. I was like, so
you're
still
holding rank?
Yeah, you're still holding rank. Like everyone's just gonna pretend that you weren't a killing machine for
that was another dude. He had a face mask.
So I was just like,
similar brand robotic arm.
Yeah, I just personally felt his whole wrap up was, I felt Bucky gave us some great moments in the previous episodes. This episode didn't fulfill me as I wanted to, and I just felt like that scene where he just drops off that notebook was just like a cop out. I was like, oh,
that might be one of those COVID pandemic things.
Yeah,
they didn't get to refilm. They didn't get to finish that shoot to get that, him at his doctor or whatever. Yeah. Maybe.
So yeah, I don't know. I just felt that it was like, okay, next.
Yeah, well, I definitely wanted more from that too.
Yeah.
And then did Sam and Sarah decide to keep, after everything, they decided to keep the boat, right? And everyone celebrated on the boat.
Yeah,
at the end
last
of this
episode.
Oh, and most importantly, Sam goes to Isaiah's
The best.
again.
Mhm.
That was the best.
Yeah.
I didn't forget. I was just saving the most important part for last. And you know, we have the grandson opening the door again. And
Hey, Black Falcon.
yeah. And he's like, you need to learn some manners. And then they're just having a heart to heart, Sam and Isaiah, in the because Isaiah was watching Sam's speech on the TV. On the TV with the moving pictures. He was watching him on TV, you know, when he was giving a speech, and he's just like, okay, because he in previous episodes he was just like, there's no reason, there's no good reason for you to take up this mantle. And then when he sees it, he's like Isaiah changes his mind. Which is, what did you think about that conversation? What were some lines there that, if any, that spoke out to you guys?
I don't remember any.
Me neither. Honestly, the scene that really, like, when he goes to that museum, that really touched me, and I was like, man, like, if I didn't have tears, like, at like if I wasn't watching this at 3 a.m., I definitely would have cried. like I gotta say, because like I was so tired, but I was like, man, you know, this is what I needed. So
Yeah.
I could have had a great cry, but you know, it was great. It was touching. I'm so happy that they're giving him his dues, and so happy that they're actually acknowledging Isaiah Bradley in the MCU. So hopefully his grandson could show up sooner or later. But I was also thinking, I was like, does his grandson have powers? Like, is that super serum passed down? Like, I was like,
we don't see any indication of that. You don't
see
see him like doing some
shooting
garden
hoops though?
thing.
Was he shooting hoops the first time we saw him?
yeah, I think so.
It would have been really subtle if he had of, you know, like hit a Steph Curry 3-point. A couple aspects of his.
You don't need a super soldier. Are you saying Steph Curry has a super soldier serum?
No.
That's
I'm
right.
just saying it would have been
He
a little.
have all those injuries.
I'm just saying it would have been fun if there had been a little hint somewhere in the grandson's time shooting hoops that his abilities were elevated. It would just be a little foreshadow that maybe there's something in the gene pool in that family that is going to show up again later in the MCU. But
even when I saw Isaiah pick up that plant, and I'm like, okay, is that superhuman strength?
Yeah.
Or
that was superhuman. Yeah.
My wife just said to me, you know how heavy that plant is. I was like, I know. I pick up lemon trees, you know, for my mother-in-law. I'm like, yeah, those things are really heavy.
They have to be using that actor later on, right? Because they have another close-up shot when he's hugging Sam, and the camera's right in his face. And then it's that dried Elmer's glue thing again, where the wrinkles don't look right to me, TV budget or not. I mean, if they weren't planning on using him in a younger version of himself later, couldn't have they just casted an older, more elderly looking actor? And that's what I was expecting. I was expecting maybe pictures of him in the museum of him younger, and that's why they did that effect for. But then that'd be really fucked up if they experimented on this dude. Plus, they also had pictures of him to post up on a wall.
One of the things that I wish they kind of did, like also I saw a continuity error in the scene. So when Sam is talking to Isaiah in the yard, you can see in the background the grandson is moving and he's leaning on the fence, and then they move to Isaiah and they move back to Sam, and the grandson is back at the door. So I was like, oh, continuity error. But I really wanted to have a moment where the grandson was like, hey, you know, maybe you could teach me a thing or two about this superhero thing. I wish they had like a nod there, because that would have been like perfect, like Young Avengers. It would have tied up everything in a nice bow. But you know what? Hopefully, I'm right, or that they use Isaiah in a flashback or something later, because it seems like a weird choice. Jamba says he actually looks younger in this episode. I thought he did too.
And that was it, right? That was all the scenes. And then now the title changed from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier to Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
I was going to say before about Steve showing up.
Yes.
So this is to me the difference between fan service, like serving fans, and serving storytelling.
Right.
If they had their way, it would have just been fan service. I wanted to see Steve. Just in my heart, I want to see Steve.
Yeah.
It would have been fan service to have Steve shown up at the museum, but it would have killed the moment for Sam and Isaiah.
Right.
So that's where, like, my desire to get something should be quashed in order to serve the best parts of the story. So I'm glad they did not do that, because that would have just been cheap fan service for no reason, like having Lando Calrissian
is that 2 shots of Star Wars in this episode?
I personally thought the ending, just like when they go back to Sam's like house, it just ended. I was like, what? That's all?
I was like, digging the music and Bucky's arm with the kids hanging on it.
Yeah,
that was great. That was like a family barbecue. It was a lot of fun.
But I just
like the museum. The whole section of that museum is about recognition and making sure people don't forget about him, because in the war, there was Steve and there was him. They both had super soldier serums, but like, he was hidden, and the history was, they tried to erase it, and Steve was, pushed through, and then like it would kind of kill the whole point of that scene in the museum, like the recognition for Isaiah, to have like Cap show up again anyway. It's just like, dude, man, just give me my moment, right? So just you want it, like maybe another spot.
Yes, it should not have been there, which is what I'm saying. Glad they didn't do fan service.
Yeah,
it served the story, which is the right move.
And then post-credit scene, Sharon Carter, because Carly failed to tell everyone on her deathbed or with her dying breath that this person is the power broker. She gets her pardon. Not only that, she's offered a job back with the government, and she's like, yeah. And then right away she's calling people. She's like, super soldier serums off the menu, but we're gonna have more stuff to sell. Like that, she couldn't wait to get into her car or something for she literally did on the building. So what do you guys think about that? Does that tie into the news from earlier today that this is the news, Jason?
That Russell Crowe is playing Zeus?
No, this
Captain America 4. Okay.
Yeah. So literally, this is the news that they literally posted maybe earlier today. I felt this news could have waited until Monday. Personally, I felt this was like a little bit too rushed. Because it kind of just gives a huge spoiler out for people, but whatever. I feel like we're definitely going to see some people back in this, in Captain America 4. Hopefully we see Bucky in there. Hopefully we see Miss Countessa Valentina Allegra de la Fontaine. Hopefully this is where the Thunderbolts maybe show up.
Sure.
I'm cool. I'm really excited about this. The Cap movies in the MCU are probably like my favorite ones over, definitely not Thor, but and Iron Man 2, but like Cap is my favorite one. And then to have Sam finally get the mantle, I don't want him to be like, he's Cap in the next Avengers movie or in the next whatever movie. Like, he is the main character. Yeah. He is Cap now. It shouldn't be any different. He will have his own main title, which is awesome.
Can I ask you guys a question? This is loaded, so just
keep doing this. Just ask it.
Okay, but I gotta just be careful here. This is interesting from a movie studio point of view. Is it better to have from a movie studio point of view, do you think this takes some of the pressure off of having to replace Chadwick Boseman? Because they've got a male black leading superhero, which is what needs to be, like, there needs to be one. At least one. I mean, obviously needs to be one. But do you think this, like,
no,
kids need to have role models, and they needed to have Chadwick was huge, and it was going to be like, I felt a huge loss, like, for what the world was going to get when Black Panther 2 with Chadwick at the front of it was off the table. Does this make it so that there still is something where it's not on Black Panther 2 to carry the role of that kind of hero.
No, I personally feel that Marvel has done such a great job with diversity in the last couple of years. Like we've talked about, me and Kevin have talked about this Ike Perlmutter mentality where he really suppressed feminism and just people of color. So I'm so happy that now we're seeing more of a range, and Black Panther is always going to be something culturally amazing that revolutionized cinema.
For
sure. I don't think that Captain America 4 and the transition of Sam as Captain America wouldn't replace any of the legacy that
Chadwick replace. But like, is there a like a I don't know how to. Is there like a passing of a torch almost in that, like the legacy that started with having Chadwick Boseman's character, and like is there more pressure? Well, how about this then? I'll rechange the question. Is there more pressure on I'm forgetting his name now. Oh my god. On the actor to be a role model the way Chadwick was as a person because of his role in movie stardom. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
isn't it kind of cool? It's a parallel between like Sam's character and then probably Anthony Mackie in real life.
Anthony Mackie, thank you.
Right? Where it's just like your story in the show is like, is the world ready for a black Captain America?
Right.
Now it's like, is the real world ready for a black Captain America?
Yeah.
Right.
Captain America 4.
I think honestly with the show, it's really, they had to have those tough conversations here. And I think with Captain America 4 and Sam as Captain America, it's going to break down boundaries. It's going to break down all these walls, and it's going to show people that, you know, the symbol of America is one that's diverse, and whoever wears the stars and stripes is America. And I think that's what's going to show. It's going to bring, it's not going to bring people together, but it's also going to show that anyone can be anything. They can do, like, if they put their mind to it. And I think it's going to be like Black Panther did. It's going to revolutionize. It's going to have a cultural moment. And I think that's what we needed with this. And I really appreciate the show doing it. So that's just my opinion on it.
For sure.
Yeah. I think definitely that Anthony Mackie is going to feel the pressure, but the man could do it. And
for sure.
I'm all for it. I don't know if I'm qualified to say from a studio perspective or anything.
Just a thread, a conversation, right?
So, I wanted to bring this up because the Marvel Studios put out their Emmy nomination ballots or whatever, so they could be considered. So Wandavision was submitted as a limited series.
Okay.
So we know that WandaVision is done. It's one season and done.
One and done.
But with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they submitted it as a drama series, and not limited series. So, which opens the door for more seasons. So I'm hoping after Captain America 4, we'll see more seasons of this.
Can you imagine if we're getting seasons and movies of the same franchise? Like, here are your smaller episodic ones, and here's your massive crossover, and then we're back to this, and then like massive.
Here's your monthly comic, and then here's the whole universe main event kind of deal.
I would be so happy.
That'd be insane.
They to do this, and the amount of work that Anthony Mackie would have to do, like every 6 months. Or whatever, for 6 months I got to film this TV show, and then for a year I got to film this movie. And then, like, he's just going to be Cap for such a solid stretch of time.
I think he has a huge contract, to be honest. He signed. I think him and Sebastian Stan did their contracts. So I think they have like 10 to 15 picture deals.
I hope. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously the next Cap movie, and then the Avengers movies, and any other small appearances, like the way that Chris Evans was in Thor 2 for a scene, and in this and that for a moment, and Spider-Man: Homecoming for a scene. You get to have those little cameos. But
so
it's
Anthony
so exciting.
Mackie has originally signed a 10-picture deal. Right. Originally signed. So we don't know if it's more. I think they're doing more, but oh man, that's 10 pictures. And he hasn't been in.
Should we do the count? So
sick.
Falcon Winter Soldier, he was in Civil War. He was in Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Ant-Man. That's great. He was in, obviously, Infinity War and Endgame. So that's 6 already. Are we forgetting any?
Captain America 4.
Well, okay, so we're going to keep going. We're going to extrapolate beyond.
Yeah, so he still has 3 pictures. And I think I heard that Endgame and Infinity War were one picture.
They were always billed from an audience point of view and a creative point of view to be 2 pictures. There was never supposed to be a part 1, part 2. It was always supposed to be 2 different pictures. Mm-hmm. Now, what does that mean for contracts? And that's way out of my... Yeah. I have no idea.
So, yeah. Ooh, anyways, let's look at this.
Well, this is the Walmart exclusive Marvel Legends Captain America with the unmasked head of... what's his name again?
Right?
John Walker. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is from Marvel Legends, and this is, was it $35 Canadian?
I see where you're going with this.
On the website, on Walmart Canada. This is the one I ordered. I ordered this one. It's because the packaging is really cool. They used it in the show earlier this week, and we've been fortunate enough every week where we recap the show that there has been some sort of toy news, and this week as well, SH Figuarts has announced a John Walker Captain America from the TV show, and this is their unmasked head sculpt. I mean, it definitely can still change from these photos and actual production heads, but how do you guys feel about this unmasked head?
This ain't it.
This is like a $90. I guess if it was USD, it'd be like 90-ish. Canada, probably like 120.
Are you gonna make it easy for us and just say dope or nope?
Sure, dope or nope.
Nope.
No. Sorry, this head. Honestly, if you look at the pictures, he just looks so scrawny as hell. It just looks so bad. This
head, he kind of looks like a Muppet.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. He looks like a Muppet. I personally think that figure is a waste of $100. Like, look at that. That just that doesn't look.
That is very skinny. Look at it. His
arms are not like appealing.
It'd be really funny.
And that is not America's ass.
No. No, absolutely not. I just think Marvel Legends has done such a great job recently that they could compete with the imports. So for me to see something that is almost $100 and doesn't hold a candle to Marvel Legends.
I mean, I'm trying to not make judgments on things I don't have in hand, but since I don't plan, even if this did look good, I wouldn't buy. I don't have a need for a $100-something SHF John Walker. I love this effect. The most recent one, Captain America that came out, has a similar effect with the bouncing effect for the shield. So that's really cool. This is the only thing that's appealing for me. So even if this was a good looking figure, I don't think I would buy it. We don't have this in hand, but it doesn't look like something I need at the moment.
Honestly, it's one of those things where Marvel Legends is going to be like, ooh, I like that effect. We're going to yoink it and put it in a deluxe release of something.
Yeah, I could see that. I would buy a deluxe.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's the main toy news for this property for this week,
Yep.
Shang-Chi trailer was last week. New Shang-Chi official photos were released.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it to tie into this episode. And that is a wrap for this series.
Woo! So What did you guys think of it all as a whole?
For all of our criticisms, I was entertained. I
Me
was happy
too.
to watch.
I mean, for me to watch something at 3 a.m. consistently,
Man, I was so inspired.
Yes, Jason, like, show that, please.
Saw those.
I made this like after watching those episodes, man. Just my own corner box. I love that stuff.
It's
so can't help it.
Jason is an amazing artist. He this corner box art right there. He also did like a series of 4 different ones for The Mandalorian. I'll just take it off of the screen to make it less awkward for you. Of which I have one, and it's fantastic stuff. And you can get prints from him. Obviously, he's local to me here in the GTA, but on his website or from his Instagram to his website, you can order prints as well.
Thanks, man. I was just saying that I love the show and I was inspired by it. That's
right.
But I appreciate it. It's very kind.
You were my friend, and I would like to help promote your your ventures.
Thank you.
Let's see. So, I think it was fun talking about this weekly. It was a nice amount of episodes. It's like 6 episodes for me to test on the channel. Like, is this something that we should go into consistently? I don't know. How do you guys feel?
I like it. I mean, like, I love talking, so anytime to put me in front of a camera and a microphone, I'm down. So, that's like this is a perfect this was a perfect series to talk about. Gave us a lot of discussions.
Yeah.
And it was something that I feel like it's content, and content's always good. Content is king. So, I mean, I'm always down to talk. I'm always down to give my opinions on stuff. And, like, we have the Bad Batch coming up next. We have Loki coming up. We have Black Widow. We have Hawkeye. We have Miss Marvel.
You can choose one. I can't do everything.
There's a lot of stuff
right away, and to do all this stuff, and to
disappoint.
Have to talk to you guys for 2 hours.
Listen, like, I personally feel that
right after.
Like, we
Bad Batch will not be a 2-hour talk every week.
No. I feel like we could just do like a series talk on Bad Batch.
You know what I do like, though? It's because this channel is about toys, and that the fact that we have merchandise that we can talk about this show and kind of tie that together. The whole theme of 2 become 1 is one of the appeals for me to do something like this, where it's like you can talk about figures and related merchandise at the end of an episode recap. So Bad Batch comes up on May 4th. I think it's like, they said it's like an hour episode or something like that. And then it's every Friday after that. So I don't recall if it's like May 4th and then May 7th, the Friday, as the episode 2, and then every Friday. It is, right? Yeah. So that'll be pretty cool. I've been rewatching season, is it 7 or 8? 7 of Clone Wars, and at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about these guys, but then rewatching it again, it seems a lot better. And I wanted to make this joke, like, guys, spoiler alert, they're all gonna die. But and then I realized that's wrong, because they could have been, merged into the Empire as some sort of unit. We don't know.
Yeah.
So that
I get that read from the trailer about what their role is.
I don't recall.
Okay, so this is just me going. Okay, just what I'm reading from the trailer is that they take the last clone as the clone program is shut down.
Right.
The last clone has something special about him, and they take the last.
It?
That's what I'm reading. They take the last clone, maybe because he maybe contains something like how to unlock their lives or whatever MacGuffin is in there. Whatever that kid means, they're going to take the last clone and try and get him free, because they're shutting down the clone program, and then they become hunted by the Empire. So it's them on the run from.
Is that what it is?
No, I'm not saying that's what it is. That's my read. Mm-hmm. That's how I read the trailer. It was like them running away from this with taking the chosen.
Someone watching this right now is like, did any of you two even listen to the trailer?
I'm just that's what I got from it. That's the show that I'm thinking we're going to be getting. So I'm really excited.
Like 10 days away. 10 days away.
It's super exciting to get more Star Wars, but I just don't think it's going to have the content. It definitely won't have the social relevance that Falcon Winter Soldier had. Like, we had so much to dive into every week.
Honestly, like for the merchandise, there's not going to be much merchandise that's going to come out because technically we already have the
Bad Batch.
2 Bad Batch figures out, 3 technically, and then we get a deluxe in August, and then the other one in a couple weeks. No, sorry, in September or something. So it's like it's the merchandise is like slowly trickling out, so there's not really much tie-ins. The only thing that I could see is that Loki will have a big, presence on social media, which that's something that I would love to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the wrap up of this series. Something new, like I said, something new that I'm trying on here. Troy and Jason, thank you so much for being a part of this. I really enjoyed the discussion and all the facts and all the theories and stuff that we came up with and silly jokes and orange Wolverines. People who are watching, let us know, should we do more of these? If so, what series? If not, just say to shut up and unbox some toys. Let me know. Monday is going to be the Marvel Fan First
Monday.
Fan First Monday. It keeps throwing me off. Change the day. It's like if I had to change unboxing Thursday to another day, it would just mess me up. But yes, Monday. So and then Jason, you're down, right? To recap some of the toys because you love toys too.
I love toys.
You got nothing to do. So Monday, I think it's 3 or 3:30. We'll be on live, just going over what kind of stuff they're announcing or showing, and just your dope or nope segment. So I appreciate everyone watching, guys. I appreciate your time because every episode has been a couple hours, but we all love toys, and that's what we're talking about. Troy, where can people follow you?
You can find me on Instagram at Troy Collects Toys, or you can find me on YouTube at Troy Collects Toys as well.
Heck yeah. And Jason?
You can find me on Instagram at Jason Lavidas, or you can find our comics at Group of 7 Comics. .ca.
Oh, also, you can find Kirby Kwan Jr. on Instagram at Kirby Kwan Jr. And if that fight is going to happen, he's going to roll up dressed completely in his Batman cosplay. Okay, and so I would definitely live stream that. It's going to be freaking awesome. Yes, let's see it happen. Okay, go check out his Instagram too, please, gentlemen. This has been dope. Everyone watching, thank you so much. Have a great night and keep toying around. Peace.